Happy 22nd of December and welcome to my adventure forest scarf knit along using any yarn that inspires you and that you have laying around, or yarn that doesn't inspire you and you make it inspire you. That leads into the topic I would like to talk about today: creativity. Possibly you don't even need me to talk about this because you have thought about all the thoughts that come from me now already. But sometimes it's really helpful to hear another view and process that and incorporate it into your own creative system that you built over the years, or share with somebody else that says, I'm not creative. There are a lot of people in the world and around my little world of people that I encounter that say, I'm not creative, that's for other people, or I can't draw, or I'm not musical, or I like to look at art, but I could never do these things. And I think this is a big problem, and it already starts in kindergarten. I don't want to blame it all on schools now, but that's where you start learning that you're not creative, because in kindergarten they got pre-drawn images to fill in with colors. And in school too afterwards. Why on earth would you give a small kid a pre-drawn image to color in? It has so much fantasy and needs to develop and digest the surroundings. They should draw on their own, give them blank pieces of paper and crayons, and they go wild. And in kindergarten, it's like, no, you drew over the line, you have to draw in nicely. That's exactly what happens. Everything has to be nicely and perfect. And that's where creativity, or that's one place where creativity gets just suffocated in its roots. Who said it's not nice to draw over the lines? I think it's nice to draw over the lines. Make it a point. Draw over any line you have. Draw, smear over it. I told my kids, you never have to draw just to the lines. You can draw however you want. You can smear all the way to the next paper. It's just, I'm getting really emotional about this. There are some teachers sometimes that have a little spark of creativity left in them, but I haven't seen much, honestly. However, it's not because they're bad people, it's because they didn't learn it either. Because they're suffocated too. And a lot of people in this world are suffocated. I taught quite a lot of drawing and painting courses before in my life. If you teach those courses, you already have people that are willing to draw and to explore and to practice and to try again. Those are the ones that come into the course, and that's pretty easy to work with them. But the ones that haven't even considered going to a course or even considered picking up a pencil and a scrap paper because they can't draw, it's just so hard to get them over their shadow because they say, no, I can't draw. What? You can't draw? You can write, right? You can take a pencil and draw something. That's a drawing. Yeah, but it doesn't look good. It is. Who says it doesn't look good? It looks the way you drew it. And the reason why they think it doesn't look good, because they have this image engraved to their head that it should look like real life. If you draw a horse, it should look like a horse on a photograph. Or if you draw a city, it should have a complicated three-point perspective, top-down view with, no, just draw where you're at. And then, if you don't like that, look at it and think, what don't I like about it? If they say, well, it looks like a little child drew it. I think actually drawings from little children are the best because they're loose, they're not pretentious, they're honest, they're from the moment, full of life juices. There is not a problem with the children's drawing. Second of all, if you don't like children's drawings, think, what can I do so it looks less like a children's drawing? Maybe I have to work on perspectives. Maybe I have to work on my stroke, shading, all those things. This is called technique. And technique are the things that help us to not have our creativity blocked. It's like when you're knitting. You want to knit a sweater, but you don't know how to knit. So first you have to start the knitting stitches, then you have to start the purling stitches, you have to learn how to bind off, cast on, increase, decrease. This is all technique. And then you can knit a simple sweater. And it's like that with every creative thing you're doing in your life. You need technique and you need to have ideas. But the ideas come when you start doing things. And if you don't even start, probably the ideas won't come because you don't even know what kind of ideas you could have. And if you start doing things, you start looking around, you look how other people do it, you think, oh, maybe I could do this. And you don't just look how other people do it in the same media. You can look at a photograph, you can look at a film, a commercially produced piece of clothing, get your inspiration there, pictures, poems, anything that is in the world can inspire you to ideas. What I mean to say is, don't just knit so things are knitted. Yeah, knitting is comforting, knitting helps you calm down, knitting is addictive, but try to go beyond that and don't just take a pattern that you like and knit it. To me, taking patterns and knit it from the pattern are three things. First of all, it's a big help to get something done that you know how it should look. You don't have to figure it out yourself. It's written there. You can just follow the steps. Second, it's a big help to learn technique. It's like when you play piano, you have maybe a book of technical exercises for the fingers or exercises that you do every day. It's technique. You learn a lot of techniques when you knit from patterns. But the third thing is, it's like taking a pre-drawn piece of paper and fill in the colors. Yeah, maybe you change the colors of your yarn than the original pattern. But it's actually not really creative to me. It's like the classical musicians. They are great. They have technique. They can play anything. They interpret the music that has been written in a certain way. But is it really creative? Unless they're composers, it's just interpreting, which is creative, but it's limited. So the creativity to me starts when you start composing or when you start improvising, which is a whole different level, because improvising you have to do things in the moment, which I basically did with all the videos. I just put myself in front of the camera and started talking. I'm not scripting those videos. Probably they would be a little better if they would be scripted, but first of all, it doesn't fit my schedule. Things have to get going. And second, it's not what I went for in this advent calendar. I went for pushing myself to produce something every day and keep at it for 24 days. And this pressure, next to work, next to kids, next to the big mess that piled up in the meantime in my house. You don't want to see how it actually looks because I didn't have much time to keep up with housework during this month, believe me. But that's not the point. Who cares about the mess? I can clean it all up once this book is over here with Advent. It's about pushing yourself. Take something, set yourself a goal and say, I will explore this even if I don't feel like it every day for this amount of time. And usually the days where you feel like I can't do this is not my thing today, and you push through, that's the moment where you go a step up, or you have a new idea, or you think about what is it that I don't like today. For example, yesterday with the Grinch tree, I had to re-knit that part. I mean, it's tiny. Any knitter would have that in 5 minutes. But it's a long time for me because I have such limited time to work on those things. I had to re-knit the bottom part of my tree because there was a mistake. And I thought, God, I knitted that already with that yellow. And I felt like, why would I re-knit it again with that yellow? I was talking Grinch. Why don't I just put green in there? And then I actually enjoyed knitting it. Just make it enjoyable to yourself. Let the creativity come to you. Let it come. If you don't like something, change things. Change the color, the smell, the touch, whatever media you're working with. Maybe you're cooking, or maybe you're doing pottery, or maybe you're gardening. Whatever you do that is creative, make something from it that is more than just out of a manual. Make it your own. Let it grow. Tell something with your things that you make. And I think pushing yourself is very, very good for creativity. Back to the drawing, I meant to say, and that's not applying just to the drawing, that applies to knitting, crocheting, spinning, anything you do, music. If you say, I can't do it, it's because it doesn't look like you have it in your head maybe. Maybe you see something in your head, how it should look. You do it, and it doesn't look like it. Then work on it till it looks like you want it to look. And I guarantee you, if you know the technique, that it looks like you want it to look, then you don't even want it to look like that anymore. But you want it even further. You will never catch up with the technique when you're creative. You will never be good enough for yourself. Maybe for other people you're a star and amazing. And for yourself it will never be enough, because you're always ahead already of what you can do and where you want to go. And that's the beauty about creativity. And that's what you have to embrace and accept, that what comes out is what comes out right now. For example, this scarf I've been making. I like some things and I really don't like other things. And some people said this is beautiful. For things in the scarf I really don't like. So who says what's beautiful, what not? I will finish the scarf because I told myself I'm going to finish it. And because making the scarf, I already had at least 10 or 15 new ideas what I want to do that I didn't have before. So if you're starting to create, you will have more and more ideas that lead you to more and more new projects. And it's like a long hike that goes to different places and that you see a lot of different places. And I think that's very important. And I wish everybody could have that. I think creating is very important because it grounds you. It gives you a sense of value for things. You learn how to handle things with care and take care of your surrounding. I think this world needs more of that. It's not about the stuff that's been made. It's about the process, about the imagination, the care, the concentration. And I also think kids in school today don't get enough of that. They don't even read good books anymore. Not very Christmassy. Let's go to the positive things again. Creating. I think Christmas is a perfect time to create things because it gives you a little goal. Say, I want to make this little thing for my aunt or my sister or whatever. And outside it's cold. You're not missing any activities outside. Don't just need to show off your technique. You can do everything. You can do the most complicated brioche that grows branches into all directions. It's beautiful. But don't just do it because it's written in the pattern. Create something with that. Take your technique and bring it even further. I think that's creativity. In today's toy calendar, that tiny little mint green card that was stuffed full with people and little kids and bigger kids and the Christmas tree approaches a gate that was lit with beautiful lights. And it drives through the gate. Drive. just a few minutes later, this guy that had enough of the daily grind approaches the gate too. I guess he took a shortcut through the woods because he was almost as fast as the car. And he also goes through the gate. He was very tall, so he had to get his head down a little. And we see tomorrow what happened. My scarf is spread out on the floor here. This was yesterday's Grinch tree, the 21st, and this was today's blue tree originally, which is also dark because there are short days right now. But I thought this blue tree doesn't fit anymore because I added that green yesterday. So I thought, you know what, I am just gonna knit this, and then I realized, oh no, I want a grayer tree on this side. So I thought, yeah, maybe I take this one for the 23rd. So I will probably show you tomorrow what yarns those are. And so I thought for today's tree I will use my black and white Christmas yarn, which is still pretty big actually. I haven't used it up, bad me. And this grey mohair and this black yarn, which has green freckles in it, which would fit this green spot here. And I thought this would get dark enough to make this winter solstice tree still shine. So let's see what happened. I am not further than this, out of time reasons. But I think it's a cool choice. And then tomorrow's tree would fit too. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. However, this is today, and I will finish it after this video is finished. Got a lot of sewing and crafting to do. I would really like to hear your thoughts on all the things I hinted on today, and hope you have a wonderful time. Don't let yourself be stressed. Don't let yourself getting depressed, even though it's dark and cold outside in some areas of the world. Maybe you are from a warm area. If you are from a warm area, enjoy. And thank you so much for watching. If you want to see how I knit the trees, which I didn't show you much of today, but I also have to work on it. Gotta have time to work on it too. If you want to see tomorrow's video, watch here. Thank you so much for watching, and I see you tomorrow.